It's amazing to me how few businesses actually use budgets. I mean, the most successful ones do, and I've been using one for years. It's a cash budget. Because what's the goal? The goal is to find out whether I'm going to run out of cash at any time in the future and plan not to. How's that for simple? But I can use it a lot different, more ways than that. I actually use it for a ton of things. Let's talk about it. I start off with two tabs. I start off with an income tab and an expense tab. All right. On the income tab, I tend to break, first across the month. I have by month, I have, the months, no big deal. And I like to keep a rolling 12 months, or at least the next year. I don't keep the rolling 12 months as much as I should, so I tend to do a year at a time. I'll sit down around now, I'm going to do 2013 probably in the next day or two, and sit down and plan. And I break my budget into three areas, and my sales budget into three areas. First, I have my expected receipts from current customers, if you look at it. And I break that into two parts. I have recurring receipts, in other words, income that's going to be coming in every month no matter what. And I put the customer name down here. And it reminds me, hey, I need to make sure I do the work for these customers because they're really supporting me. I mean, they're really doing a lot of work. So I don't want to take them for granted and just cash their checks. I want to make sure I plan the work. If I'm getting $1,000, what work am I supposed to be doing for that? And then I put in special projects. These are one-time or two-time things. And customers, I didn't go into great detail, but I literally will list all my major customers and put in the main projects that I see happening. And you don't have to sit down and do every one because, for example, I'm going to add something right here. Just for us, we have, personal tax returns. And I just, 5% increase, let's say. So let's say that I'm not going to list, we do 600 returns. I'm not going to list each one. So I'll go in here and say, well, I'm going to have 5,000 here and 7,500 here. And, let's say another 5,000 here. And yeah, we got some people that do some extensions. So we're going to put some of those out here. And, just copy the formula down. Not a big deal. You're going to copy the formula. I'm not going to do an Excel spreadsheet one, but lesson. But I mean, basically, to do another way to do it, if you don't want to copy, you just click here on Auto Sum and highlight what you want to be highlighted. Hit what you want to be totaled. Hit Enter, and this automatically changes because what this is saying is add up N7 to N20. So as long as that's why I inserted above that point, so it would automatically change it. So you can see I don't have to put in every one if I have a bunch. I can, and use your own. I mean, if you're in retail, you don't know all the customers that are going to come in. So you're going to put in here, you're just going to put in, average, normal last year's this time with a 5% increase or whatever. You're going to put something in there. I like if I'm in service, I do this, proposals and expected work. This is stuff that I haven't had approved yet by the customer, but it's things that think I have a pretty good chance of getting approved. So I'll stick it in here and I'll show you how I take it out later because I really kind of plan with both. And then of course I just have a total of expected receipts from current customers and this one here is the total for proposals and expected work, and this is a cash budget. So now I click on the expense side and let's just get over here. And I tend to break this again by month, and I tend to break it into two parts. Fixed costs, which are basically my rent, utilities, wages, taxes, and whatever else you have that's a reoccurring expense every month. All right. And then variable costs. And then this one, I don't have any variable costs that really, but I could, and I wanted to stick that in here. So material costs, I'm saying they're going to be 20% of my sales. And really what it's doing is it's going to the income page down here on this tab, and it's grabbing that number. And that's what that formula is telling it to do. And multiply it times 20%. And it's basically, I copy that across and it'll do the same thing all the time. Contract work at 15%. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to total all my expenses. I'm going to get an increase in cash and really what I would say for the month. So this is how much increase or decrease. And understand that if it's in parentheses, it's a decrease. All right, for the month. And I'm going to have my beginning cash, and I'm saying we came in with some cash, I hope, and my ending cash. And basically what I'm looking for is, is there months that I don't, not doing that well? Maybe I need to go out and see if I can get some customers in there. Make sure I don't run out of cash. Hey, this looks good. I'm not going to run out of cash. All right, but I also like to look at ending cash assuming no new work. So what I do is I grab, and that's why I did this here. I grab this total and I put it in here and subtract it from my ending cash and say, all right, am I all right if I just don't make another new sale? And it says, yeah, I am. And it's important to know because you want to plan in advance. So a lot of things are happening on this budget. I'm looking at my expenses, controlling my expenses. I'm looking at my ending cash, looking for downtimes. I'm remembering to go out and make these proposals and expected work because it'd be nice instead of having, you know, I'm going to have 35,000 instead of 53,000 at the end of the year if I don't go out and get new customers. And I've had budgets that I put together that basically said if you don't go out and get new customers, you're going to go broke by September. That's a hell of a motivator. This is one of the things that I would do. I still do this, been doing it from day one, and we've been in business 23 years. And I don't know how businesses survive without it. You can do a budget using QuickBooks, and we'll talk about that in a future issue, I'm sure. But for now, seriously consider setting up your own cash budget. And if you have questions, give us a holler. Until next time, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you.